Hey everybody, it's Carl Taylor here, and in this video I want to take you through a new platform that we have just started supporting here at Automation Agency, and it's called ActiveRelay. So as you can see here on my screen, you can see a little bit about what this tool actually is. Well, it is, as it says, it's the payment platform that was built for ActiveCampaign. It's designed to allow you to create order forms in seconds without all the complicated integrations that in the past we've had to do using things like Gravity Forms, WooCommerce, Samcart, and a bunch of other alternatives to try and create a checkout system and payment integration that worked with a tool like ActiveCampaign. Now, if you're not familiar with what ActiveCampaign is, then you should definitely check out some of my other posts where I did a great review of ActiveCampaign. It's a marketing automation platform that is really affordable and has really kind of taken me by storm, I suppose, taken the world by storm, but really, I've been really impressed with them. And particularly in the last 12 months, they've really transformed themselves and created some amazing features that work for small businesses and online marketers alike. So if you haven't checked out ActiveCampaign before, definitely check them out. But first, you might want to check out my previous blogs where I've done a deep review of what I like and what I think could be improved in ActiveCampaign. As I mentioned before, ActiveRelay, which we're talking about today, is a platform that we support here at Automation Agency. So it's recently been added. It is a tool that we support, meaning that we're highly trained and experts in setting up and configuring this tool and making sure that it works for you. So let's talk a little bit more about what the tool is and why you might want to use it. So their webpage really outlines quite clearly what it's about. You have your sales page. So most of us, if you're an online marketer, you're usually selling a product and you will have a sales page with product or service. You have a sales page where you have all your copy, you're convincing someone or educating them on why they should choose your product. And you'll have a big button that says add to cart or buy now. And when they click on that, you would take them through to a checkout page or an order form page. And that order form page doesn't have to live on your website. And in this case, if you're using ActiveRelay, you would be sending them through to an order form that is built on the ActiveRelay platform. If you're familiar with a tool like Samcart, it's no different to how Samcart works in that regard. You're sending them off to a page on ActiveRelay's site where then the checkout form, the asking for their credit card details is there. And then once they submit that, it processes the credit card transactions via Stripe. So right now, ActiveRelay works through Stripe, which is a great payment system, really easy to get started. It doesn't cost anything until you start actually making money. They just charge a transaction fee. The best thing though, why would you use a tool like this? Because once that order has been processed, it will integrate directly and deeply with ActiveCampaign and allow you to tag and run automations based on the fact that someone has purchased or what they've purchased. And so it's really deeply built in to allow ActiveCampaign to have a great checkout process, which brings ActiveCampaign more in line with tools like Entreport and Infusionsoft that have an order form or e-commerce processing system built in. Now you have the option to use ActiveRelay to add that functionality to ActiveCampaign. I'm not going to talk too much about why you want to use them because you know what? I'm just going to go straight through and give you a demo. And to help with this demo, I've actually got a special guest on this video with me, and that is Dan DeWitt, who is the founder of ActiveRelay and a fellow Aussie. And I invited him to jump on. We're on a call right now, and he's going to come on and actually take us through a demonstration of how easy it is to set up and get started and the most common situations that you're going to use ActiveRelay to integrate with ActiveCampaign and to sell products. So let's take it away and just go straight in. So Dan, if you're there, unmute yourself, show your video and say hey to everyone.
Good morning, afternoon, evening world, wherever you are. I know it's now that we're recording this, we are midday in Australia. So hello, and thank you for having me on, Carl.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And I'm excited because, as I said, you are a fellow Aussie, and we've we're recent friends. We've been traveling in similar circles for a long time, but only recently connected. And it's been a great friendship, but also really loving the support and what you're doing with ActiveRelay. And so it's a great opportunity for us to show people how great this product is. So when you're ready, share your screen and let's go through a few demos. And then after the demos, we'll go through a bit of a grilling and I'll let you know what I like and maybe some of the areas I think could be improved. So hope you're ready for that.
No, I love it. Let's do it. Thank you again for having me on. I think you need to let me share my screen because you're the presenter. Give me access. All right. So welcome to ActiveRelay. Carl did a pretty straightforward introduction of the platform, purely built for ActiveCampaign users out in the market space. And the whole purpose of the platform was to give you guys an easy tool that you can set up and start selling online within minutes. He's also mentioned Stripe as the payment processor. That is our current one at this stage. So naturally, the login sequencing and the registration sequencing is more or less identical to ActiveCampaign, and that was done with intention. So you have that seamless experience between the two platforms, like it would feel like it was the one platform. So you log into ActiveRelay for the very first time. We've gone ahead and put some dummy data in this right now, so the tutorial is not as slow as it could be. My typing is relatively fast, but we will beat that from there. So you log in for the very first time. What we need to do is go ahead and connect our API keys to ActiveRelay. So scrolling down, we're going to go ahead and enter our Stripe API keys in here. You have your test keys and your live keys, and set your default currency for the country that you want to trade in, naturally. And then you've got the option for live and test mode. So we can run some test credit cards to test out our funnels and our automations and stuff within our platforms. And if you want to go ahead and start accepting some real money, go ahead and tick that as live from there. From there, you go ahead and hit save settings. The next stage, I'm just going to move you over to my left-hand window, Carl. The next settings section is your ActiveCampaign API keys in here. Now, to go and get them, because I'll show you those, go up ahead to your right-hand side in your ActiveCampaign account, go to My Settings. Within My Settings, there's another navigation on the left-hand side. We want to scroll down to Developer, and we will get it from the Developer window. And down here. So down here, we'll click on Developer, grab our API keys out, and we'll go ahead and paste them across into our ActiveRelay account. Hit Save Settings again, and you're done. That's all you need to do. Nothing further than that is to simply connect the three platforms together. That's all you need to do, right? So from there, we need to go over and simply create an order form. That's what we want to do, right, Carl?
Definitely. Let's jump straight in it. Let's see these order forms.
Now, Carl mentioned that there is quite a few options for people to take a payment, like a payment plan, subscription plans and stuff like that. And we can do all of those within ActiveCampaign, ActiveRelay, sorry, as it stands, funnel it into our ActiveCampaign account. So you can see, again, it's all laid out on the one page, which is nice and handy. So we don't have to worry about not putting data in the right spot. In here, we want to start from the left-hand side and work our way down and right. So internal name here, this is purely for internal use within your ActiveRelay account. Set a product image within there. From there, we need to go ahead and set our product name, our product description, and our product price. Now, if it's a once-off product, say Carl wants to sell a pair of shoes and they're $100, Carl will just punch in $100 and away he goes and give it a description, a name and a product, and he's good to go. From there, we have the opportunity to toggle shipping, billing, and the coupon code field on and off. Now, if we toggle these off, we don't display them on the order form. Thus, in turn, we don't create the fields and we don't funnel the data into ActiveCampaign. So if Carl wants to actually ship his shoes to you, he would have his shipping and billing address fields on. If he doesn't need to ship anything, if he was selling a downloadable MP3 file, for instance, he can toggle the shipping and billing address fields off, and they naturally won't display on the order form. Right now, it's not a requirement to actually get shipping or billing address data from people if they're doing a simple transaction online. An email does suffice. So there is that reasoning in there. And then naturally, you're removing the barrier to entry on your order forms from there. So that's just a simple toggle on and off, and away we go. The cool part is where it comes down to the integrations within ActiveCampaign. Naturally, by the ActiveCampaign business sending rules, we need to have the email prospect that's in our ActiveCampaign account attached to a list. So in order for us to send them an email, they need to be attached to a list. So with your connected ActiveCampaign account, with the demo account that I have with ActiveCampaign, we've just got one list created here, which you can see from there. The next section is we get to apply a tag on a particular purchase action. Now, if it's a single once-off transaction, we only want to focus on the top 2 fields. If it is a subscription or a payment plan, we'll focus on all of the fields. So I'll just quickly run through them, and then I'll dive back and show you how we would set up a payment plan or a subscription product. So the first one is applying a single tag or a multiple tag on purchase. The whole reasoning for this is we can actually trigger an onboarding sequence within your ActiveCampaign account. So simple, thank you for purchasing my product. Welcome to our XYZ product program, system, plan, whatever that may be, and so on from there. And you can trigger a whole swag of automations off the back end of that. The same goes for refund. So you have the option to apply single or multiple tags on refund. So every time you action a single, like a full refund or even just a partial amount refund, we will apply this tag on the contact record. This is great if you want to do internal notifications within your team saying we've just refunded XYZ to this client and so on from there. Or you can send them another follow-up confirmation email that their product has been refunded. The next section, if we are working in a subscription plan or a payment plan, these are the next fields that we want to focus on. So cancelling subscription plans, we don't like to do it, but naturally people request cancellations of subscriptions or payment plans. We can simply go into your ActiveRelay account, find the transaction record and hit cancel. And then that's it. That's all you have to do. It'll apply a tag on the contact record for then in turn for you to send another automation, trigger another automation, I should say, and go on from there. The one after that, these next two are the ones that I really like and make ActiveRelay quite innovative in the management of credit cards. One is the failed transaction attempt. What happens here is there's 3 24-hour windows. Let's for instance, Sally, a client of Carl's, her credit card fails today, right now. We would send Sally an email going, hey Sally, we noticed your credit card's failed. Please click here to update your credit card so you don't interrupt on whatever your product name is, right? If she doesn't action within the 24 hours, we're going to attempt another transaction on that card she has on file. If it processes, then fine, we don't have to do anything. If it doesn't, we would then send her another second email, just as a nice reminder, and then we would repeat that the third time. If that doesn't happen in those 3 periods, we then apply the tag on the contact record for you to trigger an automation, which could be another simple set of emails following her up, or you can take it to the next level and involve a sales team or your customer support agents and stuff in there to really make sure that everything is A-okay and that she still wants to be a part of the platform. So that's a huge aspect in the membership space is failed credit cards because of payments. Most of the time it's just insufficient funds in the account. That's why we've gone ahead and built out that 3 internal process. So you don't even have to worry about it just yet. If you are going to use this for a membership style platform, this is great where you can actually suspend a user account. You can go payment not made, suspend user account and restrict their access to the platform, which is quite cool. The final tag capability is applying a tag on a credit card that's going to expire next month. This is a 2-pronged approach on this one. There is also a custom field that gets created within your ActiveCampaign account that's unique to this product and unique to the user. So we inject a unique code, a unique link in there that you can click on and actually view, and it's just a nice styled up page that has please update your credit card details, John Smith, if his credit card is expiring. So you can trigger an automation with a series of emails over a period of the month, if you will, to get him to update his credit card so his subscription doesn't cancel, right? And then fall into the failed payment recovery. So there is that extra element of recovering the cards, but on the pre-failure phase. So that's the integration aspect within ActiveCampaign. Now, all of these action status items actually get relayed onto the contact record within your ActiveCampaign account, and I'll show you that in a minute. So that they all get actioned on the ActiveCampaign account. We'll also send a transactional email to your client on behalf of you, which is just a standard receipt with the whole line items and all that jazz in there. And away we go. So moving right along, the next section is naturally the success page URL. So as Carl said on the homepage, he showed you how it works in your funnel. Naturally, the sales page, ActiveRelay, which is what you're creating here, and then the thank you page is whatever that landing page may be that you've created. So you want to go ahead and drop that in there. You have the ability to inject custom CSS code. So for instance, in Carl's world, his developers can go ahead and customize these order forms even further for you. And I'll show you those in some designs that I have from live users on the platform. So you can do that. You can also inject your Facebook, Google Analytics, ActiveCampaign tracking codes, as well as a bunch of other analytic style platforms that are in there as well. You can go ahead and inject them in their respective fields from there. The next stage is money back guarantee. If you don't have a money back guarantee, I highly suggest that you might go and get one or just type one up. And if you don't have any, you don't display it. You just don't put any data in those fields. Or you can select from 15 up to 90 or 100% money back and type in your guarantee description there. Last but not least, the call to action, so the purchase button name. So complete order, join now, subscribe now, whatever your heart's content will go in there. The cart theme color and the purchase button color, they are your basic color amending of your order forms. And I'll show you that in some created order forms in just a moment. We would go ahead and hit save settings, and that is it. Your order form is done. Stop the clock, Carl. I don't know how long that was, but that is it. So to set up and start selling, I mean, we haven't been talking for, I'm going to say less than 20 minutes. And we've already set up a complete order form. So if I dive across to another tab here, here's a client of ActiveRelay. This is Teaguard & Co. They're a tea subscription service here in Australia. And they've gone ahead and used this order form from there. And away we go. So what they've done is they've injected some custom CSS code in here, and they've actually changed the background color. So if I toggle back quickly to here, this page, the cart theme color and the purchase button color are the two colors you need to about here. So if I dive across to this one, the cart theme color directly reflects all titles of your order form, and also the base background color. Now, what Teaguard have done is they've gone and injected an image over the top of that background for the header, so it's a little bit more custom to themselves. Then the purchase button colors directly reflect against the coupon code apply button and your buy now button on your order form, right? So this is the order form that we have created. So we've launched with version 1 of our order forms, and this is what it looks like. It's fully mobile responsive, which is uber exciting. Just going to get rid of order form, and we wanted to scroll it down to just being the mobile responsive. So if we scroll in, you can see that it scales down nice and neatly all the way right through tablets to your mobile phone size. And as you can see, I'll scroll down. It's nice, simple, quite elegant, and fully mobile responsive, which is really, really exciting. So that is template design number 1. I'm going to show you this Mind coach. This is another coach, a life coach out of Sydney. She's a lovely lady, and she's using ActiveRelay as well on the platform. You can see here, she's also gone and injected a custom gradient background this time. So it's not an image, this is actually a gradient fade in her order form. And you can go ahead and you can see that she's actually turned the shipping address fields off because she doesn't need it for this product in here. So that's another version. Another one is over here. This is TrekFit Australia, another user of the platform. They have, again, turned off their shipping fields because they don't need it as well. But they haven't injected any custom code in here. So their cart theme color is this like khaki army green, which you can see on the cart header color, as well as the titles of the order forms in there. So that's like, for instance, this TrekFit Australia one, this is a single one-stop product. If we go back quickly, I'll show you the system sequencing to set up a subscription plan or a payment in here. So we go ahead and do all the other stuff that we would normally do. But in here, if we wanted to set, throw a subscription plan at me, Carl, just as an example.
Well, let's go to $249 a month.
$249 a month? Perfect. So if we go in here, we want to type in $249 to charge today, because we want to charge them that today. We would then toggle the subscription plan data on. we would set our cycle to be monthly because that's the way we want to do it. And then we would go ahead and charge $249, not 214, a month from there. Now, the intervals is the interesting one, which we have to set. We also have to set this as 1. Now, what we've done is we've added an extra level on top of what we would just normally set as a daily, monthly, weekly, yearly plan. So if you chose monthly, right, and you put in 2, we would actually charge this every second month, not every month, right? So you can go in here and you could charge every 3 months. So you could do like a quarterly style option in there as well. And naturally, if you went and changed this to daily, this would charge $249 every day, right? So we'll go back, we'll just set that to monthly.
Every 3 days? Because you've got the interval of 3, is that how
yes,
it was?
Yes, sorry. My brain was one step ahead.
Yes.
So we would toggle that back to monthly and we would set the intervals as 1. Now, if we wanted to run this as a 12-month membership, we would simply go in there and put 12 because we want 12 charges in the cycle. Now, if we want this to run this infinitely until the end of time, we would put in 0 until you close down your business or your client goes and cancels their subscription with you, you would just leave that at 0. Now, this leads into the payment plan side of things. If you have a payment plan and you had like a bulk fee up front, you would go ahead and change this price to, let's just say it's $1,000 today, and then it's an extra $300 a month for 3 months, right? As a potential payment plan side of things. So you would go ahead and set today's price at $1,000, then your monthly cycle at $300 a month, and we would change the subscription limit to 3. So it'll do $1,000 today, then month 1, 2, and 3, and then on the 3rd month, it'd actually change the status to completed, and it'll get noted on the notes log within your ActiveCampaign account as completed with the payment plan in there in place. Now, we've had some discussions earlier, Carl, and I'll bring it up. Right now, we don't have the option to have once-off pay or payment plan on the one order form. We are rolling that out in the future, just so you guys are aware. So that is the creation of the order forms, whatever style of payment plan or subscription plan that you would like to run. I've showed you some demo templates from current active users in the platform. But let's have a quick 5-minute dive into what it looks like within your ActiveCampaign account, which is the juicy part that everyone likes to see. I'm going to move my window up there with you, Carl, and then I'm going to move that up there as well. So for those that think this is looking slightly out of the norm, don't worry. This is the new beta CRM update that has been updated on this plan. If you haven't done that, I'm sure Carl can send you a link to go ahead and do that right now. So this is the new user layout, if you will, of the platform. So as you can see in here, this is just a standard contact record. And as I spoke about earlier, the whole transaction history gets marked on the log here in the recent activities under the notes section. So you can see here initially down on 2016, on the 11th month, on the 8th month of the 11th day, John Smith purchased demo subscription 1, which is the product name in the demo account that's attached. This is his receipt number, and this is the purchase price that he purchased the subscription at. So you can see that on the notes log. You can see that we also processed a refund on this account as well, and another partial refund as well. So we did a partial refund of 50 and then a partial refund of 20 on the actual record within ActiveRelay. So that gets noted in your ActiveCampaign account. Naturally, everyone gets attached to the list that they were attached to. The associated tags that get applied on the contact record, there is no refund or partial refund tag that's marked on this contact record right now because it's been removed in another demonstration. Naturally, all the personal data has been added into the contact record. And as you can see right now, there's quite a few custom fields because we've created quite a few demo transaction order forms. But for this demo, if I highlight these windows, you can see here the fields that we go ahead and create on the contact record. If the billing and or shipping fields are turned on. If they're not turned on, we don't create them. They don't get injected, right? So we have the way it's split is product name at the start, Then we have billing. So if it's either a billing or a shipping field, and then we actually have the actual element of the postal address. So you can see in here, we have street, state, zip, city, country, and that is it. So that's the integration level. There are a couple of fields that I can't show you on this contact record because they're not created. There is the custom link to update the expiring credit card. That's a rare link that you don't necessarily have to use at all if your customers are on top of their credit cards and so on from there. So there is those other fields in here. So the beautiful thing is we can go ahead and trigger all those automations that I spoke about previously, and we can go from there. So right now, this is how it looks like within the platform, as you can see from there.
Awesome. Well done. Great. That's a great demo and a really good kind of overview of how it works. And as you guys can see, that it really does produce a lot of flexibility for you to very simply and easily, either yourself or through our team, to get yourself a order form that looks nice and is functional and integrates deeply with ActiveCampaign. So let me talk a little bit about what I like. Give you the praise first, Dan, of what you've done well.
Sounds good.
So the first thing, guys, that I think ActiveRelay have done really, really well is they built. It was from their initial ethos, or Dan's initial ethos, in that he's built this as a ActiveCampaign first product. The other alternatives out there, ClickFunnels, Gravity Forms, Samcart, WooCommerce, all the different other ways that you can integrate ActiveCampaign with a payment system are, the ActiveCampaign integration is an afterthought. It was added on after the payment system. Whereas this was built from the ground up with, okay, ActiveCampaign, how do I process payments and integrate it with ActiveCampaign? So that level of deep integration and commitment and communication channels that Dan and his team have with the team at ActiveCampaign is really powerful and going to see some amazing things moving forward. So if you're an ActiveCampaign user, this is by far and away the best system from that level. The second thing is, and that leads into the deep integration. I love the fact that there's a deep integration with the notes, keeping track of the data so that you know what's happening. You've got that detail, just like you would if you were in Entreport or Infusionsoft. You've now got that level of detail on 100%. A contact record for your salespeople or whoever it is, for you to if you're just a solopreneur, you'd log in, you can see on a contact all their data. I love the look and feel and the simplicity of not having lots of tabs and wizardry buttons to click on. I think that's really good. The documentation as well. Like if you're someone who likes to read manuals and watch videos before you get started, there's some really great documentation. Dan's done a great job in putting together these articles and training. And I know that my team, it really made my life easier in training my team how to work with these tools. I also love, as he's just shown you there, he has actually gone ahead and created some sample automations that you might use with ActiveRelay. And so, we're quite across all of those, or if you're doing it yourself, you can get some great examples of, well, those tags, what should those tags actually do in ActiveCampaign? Yes, tag purchase was successful or purchase failed. What should you actually do? And so he's got some great examples in there. So I love what you've done there, Dan, as well.
Thank you.
I love the fact that you're Aussie as well. I think I always want to support a fellow Australian, especially in the tech world and the software as a service product. And one of the things I love is that this is a product that I'd considered building myself. And I know a few people have told Dan the same thing, but he's created something that was really needed in the marketplace, and he's filled a great need. So I think it's an awesome product. In terms of future improvements, there are a few things that I think could be improved. But before I go through some of the areas I think could be improved, I'd love first to hear from you, Dan. What are some of the things that are in the pipeline for certain? Like you mentioned before, that the ability on an order form to have, people can go, hey, I want the payment plan or the one lump sum. So that's great. But what are also some of the things that are in the we're looking at future, not necessarily committed, but we're also considering? Because I think that's going to help people decide if it's the right platform for them, if not now, but they'll know to keep an eye on you for the future. So give us a bit of an idea of the roadmap we're looking at.
Yeah, definitely. So I 100% agree with you. It's hard for us to give a timeline on when things certainly will come out into the space, because there's always naturally technical hurdles or other things need to be integrated before we can go ahead and do another feature. So in the immediate future and on the definite timeline is we're pursuing a PayPal integration. We're currently underway in development of that, which is quite exciting, to add another extension of your payment processing capabilities within ActiveRelay, and in turn your ability to sell more and stuff like that online. So that is number one in there. There's also some other little key features. So right now you probably did notice we don't have a postal, like a shipping price on there. So there's no ability to attach a shipping on top. So that feature is getting integrated as well. There is also the sales tax side of things as well. They're not in there. They weren't a requirement for launch as a minimum viable product, but we are now underway in developing those, and they should be coming out in a couple of weeks. So the adding of a post figure on there, as well as the sales tax for wherever you are in the world. Right now, the current workaround solution is you just integrate that into your price, and you can actually, with some custom CSS, we can actually do a call out and say that the shipping and sales tax is included in the price of the sale. So there is that workaround right now at the moment. So they are the immediate workings right now. Future pacing, what we have that we're currently exploring in the space is deep integration with Xero, QuickBooks, and FreshBooks, because as you guys are probably all aware, for instance, Stripe does a 24-hour transfer dump of all the transactions that you've made in one particular day. And sometimes you could do 12 or 13 sales, and then you would have to go into your, let's just say, Xero account and try and reconcile against that one transaction and making sure that it's all done. So that is a core one that we're working on in the immediate future with an integration aspect. The next ones from there are just simple performance enhancements. So things like the ability to pause a subscription plan, the ability to toggle between subscription plans. They're also going in there as well. Ability to edit postal data and shipping data within ActiveRelay, and that in turn then updating the fields within your ActiveCampaign account and vice versa. So they're happening. They're on the immediate horizon as well. We are also exploring offline capabilities with NFC technology. For those that don't know it, it's a non-contact, I can't pronounce the actual, I don't even know the last word. I can't remember. But anyway, long story short is you can simply tap a credit card on your mobile phone and process a transaction. It's huge in the Samsung Android space. It's starting to roll out within the iPhone space. As you can see, I've got an iPhone from there. So we are exploring that capability for offline events. Also tradesmen, people going out to job sites, they can just punch in some simple data and tap a credit card and process a payment, and away they go from there. That one is more of a longer game. That'll be Q1 next year that we really start hitting the ground running on that. We are looking at some other integration style tools, but they are coming down the track. So that's kind of a quick overview of our roadmap.
Right.
But there's certainly loads in the pipeline, which I'm super, super excited about. Oh, yeah. And one-click upsells and downsells. That's one that's been quite common of late, people asking for that. Again, wasn't a requirement for minimum viable product launch, but it is something, a feature that more and more people are starting to explore now, now that they're getting wind of there is a possibility that it can be done, or there are platforms out there that give you the option to do that. So that is in the wings of development as well. And then naturally, like we've had conversations, Carl, I've had other conversations with other certified consultants and power users of the ActiveCampaign platform. And I'm very receptive to getting information and feedback from them to how to make the platform better for them, first and foremost, but then other users on the platform. So, we've got a whole swag of feature ideas to go with it from there.
Well, everyone's always got ideas, and all the ones you've just mentioned, I think, are fantastic, and I especially love. We work with a lot of coaches who do live events and seminars, and so yeah. I know that offline processing and back of the room type sales would be huge to do for coaches and consultants who do, and other small businesses who do live events and seminars. So that's huge. And, taxes and things, as you said, the workaround you've got, I think, is workable. It's fine. It's how I've done it with many other systems.
Yeah.
And, you just say, hey, if you're Australian, you just say it's inclusive of GST. And that's fairly simple. And the integration with Xero and FreshBooks and all of those, I think will be great. You'll save, for people like me who already have a tool like Siphon that syncs up my Stripe data with Xero.
Another Aussie guy.
It's just, another Aussie guy, great guy in the community. You just save us a subscription to his product, essentially, by having you be able to do it. So there are options though, just for people who are listening, going, oh, that's killer. I won't get the product until that exists. You could do it from day one with ActiveRelay. You could then also sign up to Siphon and have a great sync and be able to sync that stuff as a bank feed into your Xero account. So I just want you guys to be aware of that. So let me give you some of the things that I think could be improved. I'll hit you with some of the areas.
Far away.
Aside from the ones you've just mentioned, which I totally agree with and think will be great. The upsells and downsells, order bumps, etc., I think is going to be crucial, especially if you're working with the marketers. That's going to be a really important feature. But some simple ones in what you were just showing us then. I noticed that there was no way on the order form you could see, except without custom CSS, I'm guessing, that you could change what logos of the credit cards you accept are. There was Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Diners. As you would know, pretty well no Aussie really takes Diners. So I think having just simple toggle on and off buttons of showing which credit cards do you accept, and people can toggle them on and off. Because I know some people, while Stripe can accept Amex, they may not want to promote that they can take Amex, and they can just show just Visa and MasterCard. So I think that's a simple thing you could add to your credit, your order form, to just say, hey, toggle them on and off.
Can I chime in on that note?
Sure.
Actually, it's Stripe's just released the other day that for domestic Amex cards, it's the same transaction fee charge as it would be for a MasterCard or Visa, which is huge.
Wow.
Which is absolutely huge for domestic cards, obviously. International cards, it's still going to charge you that 2.9%. But Stripe does that anyway with international Visa and MasterCards anyway. So it's really cool that they've brought down that, I think it's like an extra 1 point something percent to be in line with Amex and MasterCard and stuff like that. But I love the feedback. I think that's great. That's definitely an option that we can explore down the track. But please don't let that hinder people wanting to accept Amex, because you can do that right off the bat with your Stripe account. You can accept Amex into your account, and if it's a domestic Australian card, it's the same. It's going to cost you the same as it would for a Visa or MasterCard or whatever other one that's come through.
Say, I mean, from a marketing point of view, you guys want to accept as many payment options as you can. Don't make it hard for your customers to buy from you. If it's easier for them to buy with Amex, I mean, for me, if someone takes Amex, I will always use my Amex because I earn more points by doing that. But it's just a better way. And so there are some businesses out there, I learned this in my old IT days, that you could actually close the deal and get the job just because you accepted Amex and someone else didn't, because well, at least when I was doing $80,000, $100,000 jobs, the points on that was very different to someone who didn't. But just something to keep in mind. The other thing that I think, again, it goes to coming to more customization per order form. At the moment, it appears that the currency that we're billing in is system-wide rather than form-wide. I would love to see, because as someone who for a long time would offer, to US people, we could charge them in US dollars and Australians in Australian dollars. And rather than having to have a separate ActiveRelay account, which is the way we have to do it with Samcard. One of my clients with Samcard, I know that he has a US dollar Samcard account and he has an Aussie dollar Samcard account, and he's got to pay 2 subscriptions. So if that's your business model, that's fine. But if not, then being able to give that option of setting what the currency is per form, I think would be a really powerful addition.
I've got an answer for that one too, if you want.
Go for it.
We are rolling out the multi-currency scenario. the initial reason why we didn't do it was because right now, if you were to transact in USD, you not only cop the Stripe transaction charge, but you also cop the international conversion charge. And for some transactions, that was up to 5% per transaction, which is huge. So we, like, for simple sake, we just rolled out single price per order form. Single price as a global thing, or currency as a global thing. But now we are eventually rolling that out as well as a multi-currency side of things. It'll roll back into your Stripe account as the one currency, whichever currency you set up, because the configuration in Stripe is you have a Aussie, like if you set up Stripe in Australia and you set AUD, you can't change that currency. Once it's set up, it's done. You would have to go and set up another account, another Stripe account within there. And that just becomes messy on our end, but we are going to give you guys the option. And
as far as I know,
with a forewarning.
As far as I know, I don't know anyone that's bothered to go and create a separate account, because especially, again, dealing with a lot of Australians can't easily get US dollar bank accounts. So just like me, the way I do it is if I'm charging in US dollars, I just accept that, there's a higher currency conversion fee. But the difference is, because of the currency fluctuation, I'm making far more than that currency conversion fee anyway in the change in US dollars. So,
exactly.
I don't mind that, yes, in my account, I receive it in AUD, but it allows that I could charge in Great British pounds or US dollars or Australian dollars. And I do that currently. I do that through Gravity Forms on a form by form basis. In fact, actually, Gravity Forms, I can do it on one form using conditional fields and have conditions, but that's going to another. I don't think you necessarily need to go to that level, but from a currency set per form, I think would really be a great improvement.
I love it.
To what you're doing. Also, I noticed there just a really simple thing, that when you didn't select subscriptions as the product, like it wasn't a subscription product, all those integration tagging fields that relate to subscriptions remained, and they didn't disappear. Which adds to confusion to general, hey, what do I put there? So I would suggest having that when you say it's not a subscription product, all those fields that are not related to a one-time product disappear and aren't even shown.
And hide. No, I like that. I'm gonna note that down right now. Keep going.
Another one, when it comes to subscription, I'd be wanting to look at some more integration around that. For example, renewal date into a custom field in ActiveCampaign, so that we could be having automations or date-based campaigns to remind someone, if you wanted to have the scenario where you send them an email 2 days before you're going to be charging their credit card. I don't personally do that, but I know that is a scenario that sometimes people want to do. So I think a simple thing, you're capturing that data right then and there anyway, and then every time that transaction's processed, being able to update the next renewal date into next billing date into the custom field in ActiveCampaign would be a really great deep integration that creates options for either post, something that happens post their last renewal date or coming up to their next renewal date, especially for annual subscriptions. I think that'll be a really important feature.
I like that.
The other thing too was, with the payment plan, it wasn't clear with the payment plan if there was a separate tag that would trigger when that payment plan was complete. So yes, there was like successful charge, but is there a separate tag that happens when the payment plan is completely complete? Because that might be, for example, you might want to trigger something based off the fact that they finished their payment plan. It might be triggering an upsell, an invite to the next upsell. It might be I don't know what it might be, but just having those options, I think it'd be a really important thing. When you were showing how the failed charge system worked, what I wasn't clear on is, so Stripe currently does the 3 retries, or I don't know if they even do 4. It's 3 retries and then it cancels. And so with that failed tag that occurs, does that happen, just so I'm clear, does that happen on the first failed charge, the second, the third, all of them, or just the final, failed that it's now cancelled the account?
Just the final failed. So the whole intention and the methodology and the way we did it on the end was giving you peace of mind that it was happening regardless of you having to go set something up. And then you would only have to action something if it was on the back end of the 3 attempts. Now, those 3 attempts happen in a 24, 36, 72-hour window.
Yes.
And so we do something for 72 hours. We do our whole internal process for that 72-hour window. If nothing happens in that 72-hour window, then we turn it over to you and go, all right, Carl, we've done a set of recovery sequencing for you. Unfortunately, John has not seen our notification.
In that case, what I would want to see, what I'd love to see improve there is the ability to actually set and write my own email sequences. If I'm not able to do it myself through ActiveCampaign, I'd want to be able to set it in ActiveRelay. Currently, I use a tool called ProfitWell, and I use their retain feature.
Yep.
They currently optimize those recovery emails themselves. So I don't get to write them, but I can email support and say, here's what I want. I can see what they say. I can see what they say for each different attempt, and I can email them and ask them to change signatures, anything I want in that, how those emails display. But they are constantly split testing and optimizing how they work. So yeah, I think that just being, even if it was just at least seeing what those emails are, when they go and what they look like, and having that option, whether it's just contacting support or actually myself within the system being able to change, would be really, really useful and just give more control.
No, I like it.
On that dunning process. And then finally, the other thing that I think I'd like to see from my own use case, and I can tell, I know why you did it with the custom fields for per product on city, state, shipping fields, all that kind of data. And I think you should keep that, but I'd like to see the option for people like me who wouldn't care less and capturing it in a product by product basis. And I don't want to have a whole bunch of useless custom fields, to be able to map that data to existing fields. And so every order form, it could always go to the exact same field. Because if I think about Ontraport Infusionsoft, if I fill in an order form and I change my billing address, it updates on the entire contact record. It doesn't, it's not being stored on a order form basis. It's being stored in the global contact record. So I'd like to see that as an option if you want to bring it in line with Infusionsoft and Ontraport. That either that's the default, or it's an option to kind of go pick which fields you want to map shipping address, billing address, etc. to, so that way I could just have standard address fields on the contacts and not have it create separate custom fields every single order form that I create. Because that could be, for people who have a lot of products, they become very messy very quickly. And if you're doing an email campaign, or you want to go, let's find everyone I have the addresses for, it can become very hard if you've got someone who's bought this product, someone who's bought the other product, and which fields are you checking, whether you actually have addresses for, becomes quite confusing. So I think that's an area for improvement as well.
No, I like it. I like it. To add on to the methodology why we went the unique fields per order form is, if John wanted, and the classic scenario I have is John wanted to buy his pair of shoes off you and ship it to his home address. And then he finds that he needs a pair of socks as well, and comes back and buys a pair of socks on another order form, but wants to get it shipped to his work address. He then goes ahead and does that without the user having the ability, the client of you having the ability to go ahead and use current fields or update to a new address. That was kind of the challenge scenario in there. And that's why we went down the whole route of individual billing and shipping fields per order form. But I love the idea of having the ability to map them to current fields that you have, which would just aid in a deeper level of integration with ActiveCampaign, or don't map them at all and just do a notes log on saying, here's the billing address and shipping address.
Yeah, exactly.
In a notes log.
Giving some choice, because I know for me, I wouldn't want a separate custom fields per order form. It would just become messy. I totally see the use case for it, so I don't think you should get rid of it. But I think giving the option to not need to do that will keep ActiveCampaign accounts clean. Because I can tell you, I've seen a lot of different accounts, Ontraport, Infusionsoft, ActiveCampaign, and when you create a lot of custom fields is when it becomes really quite messy. For a new person to come in and try and figure out what's going on, let alone if the client, who a lot of our clients aren't super technical, it becomes quite a mess. So that's my tips around that. So all in all, though, I think you've done an amazing job with the product, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it's going to go and knowing just how open to feedback you are. And guys, if you're still listening to this and you haven't tuned out yet, which, we already did the demo early just to make sure you knew what you were getting. And if you chose to stick around, you'd be able to hear some of the areas that I think could be improved and see how open Dan is to that feedback. As I said, there's a bunch of alternatives out there. So if you're currently using ActiveCampaign and you thought you couldn't do billing at all, you've had options for a while. You just may not have realized it. Most of our clients have realized it because we've used Gravity Forms for most ActiveCampaign clients to date. However, now that ActiveRelay has come on the scene, we've trained up the team. We now officially support ActiveRelay. So that's now an option. You don't have to use it. If you want to stick to Gravity Forms, that's totally fine. We can still help you. But if you want the deepest integration, you want to be able to get some more flexibility and have faster ways of generating a page, then ActiveRelay is a great solution. It's really affordable. We didn't really talk about pricing, but if we quickly go back to your, let's go back to your price, your page.
Oh, yeah, you've got it. Nailed it.
And we are looking at the investment of $49 a month or $490 a year. Super simple, not complicated of how many transactions you're doing or
none of that
any
fluff.
of those types of things that most payment systems or order form processors want to do. It also isn't, going to $100 a month, which, all of a sudden starts to make you question, well, why am I with ActiveCampaign? Maybe I should be on something like Infusionsoft or Ontraport, because you start to get to that similar price point. So it's a really great strategy. It's a really affordable way to get started. You saw how easy it is. And if you're a client of ours already, you don't even have to worry about how easy it is because we'll worry about that. You just know what the product is, the payment system, and where they're going next, and what should happen when they purchase. So final thoughts is get on it, use it, try it out. They've got a 15-day free trial. And if you need any help, reach out to us or reach out to the support team at ActiveRelay if it's just technical questions. If you just don't want to learn how to do it and you just want to use it,
talk to Carl.
Obviously, if you're not already a client, get on our waiting list. And if you are a client, then send in your tasks today and we'll get you started. And there'll be a link below this video as well where you can get started. You can obviously go to activerelay.com, or if you want to go through our affiliate link, you're welcome to do that. It'll be below the video. So it's been a pleasure to have you on the call. Thank you very much, Dan.
No, thank you for having me, man. It's good. I love it.
Pleasure. I love your attitude. Love what you're doing. And guys, make sure you check it out and try it out. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Done. Cheers, guys.